Hi, I'm Michael, and this is the Enoree Station project. This is Enoree Station. Enoree Station was a pumping station for Greenville water. It was built around 1918, 1919. We're not 100% sure. We know that when Greenville Water was founded, they took out a loan, and one of the reasons they took out the loan was to build this building. And it's on the bank of the Enoree River in Greenville County, South Carolina, and we believe it pumped water from the Enoree River to Paris Mountain State Park, where it then gravity fed into the city as a backup water supply. Me and my wife have owned this property for about 3 years, and we were looking for a great piece of land with some historic buildings on it. It took a long time, but we finally found what we believe was the right one for us. Now, when we bought the property, these fields were 6 foot high of briars and brush and weeds. You couldn't really even see the buildings when we bought the property. We poked around a little bit, but since we didn't own the place yet, we couldn't do that much investigating. But so the last 3 years have been a lot of clearing, brush removal, and fixing up the house. So for the last 3 years, that's what we've been working on. Now that the house is starting to wind down, we're going to start working on the historic buildings. So this project is a massive one, and I understand how big of a project it is. It's probably going to take a good portion of the rest of our lives to finish, if we can finish them, but we're going to make our best attempt. So we'll give you a look around, and then we're going to get to work on cleaning out the cottage. A little closer to the buildings now so everybody get a better look at them before we really do any work. This is the main pumping station. Like I said, I think it was built around 1918, 1919. It operated, we think, until around the mid-40s, and then burned down around 1970. Now, we don't have solid dates and times. We have some documentation, but most of our information is word of mouth from local people. We don't have any pictures of these buildings when they were in operation, and that's the kind of stuff, if anybody out there has, we would love to have that, keep it with the buildings. So the cottage, we believe, was built 5 or 10 years after the main pump house. There's a date written on the underside. We'll see if we get a shot of it. But then when the building burned down, we think it just became storage. And then stuff was stored in it until we think around 1990. And then basically a padlock was put on it, and that was it. So I've already cleared a lot of kudzu. So if anybody who's not from the South, this is a very invasive vining plant. The buildings most of the year are completely covered in it. So I've made an attempt this spring, while it's still dormant, to get rid of it. So we'll take a look, see if we can find that date. This is underneath the cottage, October 26, 1926. That seems like a reasonable date for a build. So despite the looks on the exterior, if you see under here, I mean, a lot of this wood is in excellent condition, and they built this thing to last. These concrete pilings, some of them, I mean, that one's almost 10 feet tall in the corner, and they are heavy duty. There's a lot of good stuff, usable stuff under the building. There's a lot of junk too, but it'll be fun going through it all, seeing what we can reuse. And the goal is to reuse as much as we can when redoing this building. Well, let's get started. Okay, so here we are at the front door. There's the lock, cut that off, and just stuck a bolt in through it just to keep the doors from blowing open. We actually had 3 tornadoes hit very close to this property last night. So I'm glad I had that bolt in, because it definitely would have blown open. Ugh. So the previous owner of the property did upholstery work, and we find sewing machines and sewing tables everywhere we go. This is, I love old junk, so there's going to be some good stuff in here. There's going to be a lot of stuff that's not usable. And one of the reasons is, oh, there's the sky. So this is the worst part of the cottage. This wall here is ruined, and that window is not original. It's something somebody added much later, and we're going to eliminate that, because if you could see out that window is just a derelict building that I've yet to fix up. But there's a lot of good stuff here. If you look, the flooring, hardwood, and most of it is in decent shape. Around the front door is rotten, and on that corner is obviously rotten. But we're thinking about, obviously we're going to try to probably convert this back into some kind of a living space, to do the kitchen right here. So we'd eliminate the window, and we'd put all of the plumbing in this wall. So you'd have kitchen, and then in that corner, bathroom. And you'd keep all the plumbing right there. Now, we don't believe that there is running water, or has there ever been running water in this cottage. Now, there is power. There is a panel over there in the corner. However, the meter's busted. It has not been energized probably in 40 years, maybe 50. So, definitely going to need some work before I turn that on. I mean, there's some junk in here, but there's usable stuff. This is, I don't know what this is. Let's see if we could see. Market Force steam cooker. Oh, stainless steel. Aluminum or stainless. It's tough to tell, it's so filthy. A lot of sewing tables again. So if you're in the Greenville, South Carolina area and you need sewing machine tables, sewing machine tabletops, sewing machine motors, or sewing machine heads, I think I've got the market cornered on that. So let me know in the comments if you'd like to purchase any of this. Some of this stuff is probably going to get scrapped. Some of it I'll list locally and hopefully get it to new homes, people that can use it again. It looks like some kind of surging machine. Not 100%. I know how to do automotive upholstery, so I have a little bit of expertise in that. But this is more of doing. He did mostly curtains and comforters and stuff like that. And I'm not exactly an expert on that. Oh, look, that is a bottom of a Hoosier cabinet. That looks like that's some nice. I mean, there's some good architectural stuff in here too. That's a porcelain top table. We got, I mean, that looks like old kitchen cabinets, the old steel stuff. Somebody, of course, you could tell the last time somebody did any work in here, they put in a drop ceiling, which that's the 1960s, 70s solution for everything. Oh, we don't want to finish out the ceiling. Well, let's just put in a drop ceiling. But actually, other than the hole, I mean, you could see that the roof is not leaking too terribly. It's just that big hole, which we're going to deal with. So let's see what else we got here before I get started. De-trashing the place, and I guess that's going to be the first step. It's how do you tackle, this? Do you get rid of the trash first? Do you try to get the good stuff out first? Looks like another serger or double needle machine or something like that. And like you said, it's been sealed up since we think around 1990. So everything in this building is 1990 or much, much older. So I'm going to go over some of the goodies I found so far. This is interesting. That's Masons. It's like one of those Nick Cage movies. National Treasure. I don't think that this is going to be some kind of map to the treasure. Taylor's Lodge, AFM, Taylor, South Carolina. Entered 1970, passed 1970, raised 1978. So, yeah, it's blank. I don't know what this is for. I'm not a Mason. Maybe somebody out there will know what it is. So, going through the pile so far, we've got look like claxons, some kind of, or like, you know, the old civil defense horns. That's a guess. They don't have any guts in them. I don't know what else you would use something shaped like that for. We did find some nice cast iron pans, and I found the first time I opened the building, there was a couple just sitting in here, and I took them inside and cleaned them. There's a set of 3. I don't know who they are. There's a crystal one too. I'll clean them up, and we'll see if there are any valuable ones. I doubt it. They look pretty common. A percolator. I don't know if anybody actually uses percolators anymore. And there's a Samsonite travel bag. There's some vintage lighting. There's a spotlight. There's a couple more lights that I dug out. I don't know what that is. A jack, heating pad, toaster oven. Brand new. Still has like the cardboard in it and everything. Don't think people use toaster ovens either. Okay, starting to see shag, so we're making some progress. Try to get the boxes more or less just sorted into stuff that can be kind of gone through a second time. If I think there might be a use for it or somebody might want it, I'll try to save it. I know you probably don't want to watch me go through every little scrap of clothing that's in these boxes, but as you can see, like I said, sewing machine heads. I lost count. So starting to get down to the bottom level, and there's a ton of old canning jars in here. They're everywhere. The house had a ton of canning jars in it, so they were big on canning on this property. But you usually don't find the old ones full. So I wanted to show these off to everybody. See if you can see in there. Ooh, they got those guys who like eating the old food. Here's a challenge for you. Home canned, those are tomatoes and peppers. They've got some nice age. Let's see what else we got. Oh, jalapeno slices. I'm sure those are still good. Let's see what other treasures we got in here. More peppers did good. I'll tell my wife that. We have a garden. We've only been growing for a few years, but based on this, we can know what really grows well on the property. Peppers, again. Peppers. Yeah, those actually might not. Yeah, those are tomatoes. Tough to tell anymore. And more peppers. I don't know why you would save old canned goods inside of a building. I don't know how old they are, but this lid near the box, it says 86, so that's a good guess. Looks like, ugh. Seal's broken on that one, everybody. That one's full. All these gonna be full. Yeah, they're all full. Nice. So I found a very well packed box full of vintage lighting Newspaper says Harrisburg, 1977 on it. So, some nice looking shades. Me and my wife, we love vintage lighting, so this is always a score for us. Our entire house is filled with it. It looks like the matching shade. Some kind of a pedestal thing. Some kind of wall sconce. Let's see what else is in here. Oh, look at that. My wife's going to be excited about that. That is, that's a good old, that's a mountain pie maker, she calls them. I don't know if I have a ton of other words for them. That's like Christmas. Camper's Pie Chef. Pennsylvania. That's a good one. That's a heavy duty. The ones that they make now are pretty cheapy. Let's see what else we got. Ugh, an ugly, ugly lamp. I'm sure that's somebody's taste. It's not mine. That is I think that's for upholstery tax. Not 100%. Let's see what else we got in here. A brass lamp. Again, not my style, somebody's style. So I was actually looking at this table base. This is fairly nice, ornate table base. I mean, big claw feet on it. I mean, nicer than what you would think of when you just saw that tabletop. Chairs look like they're in good shape too. So I have no problem repurposing this as the dining table in this place. Got a mystery something. That's a squirrel, I believe. Yeah. I don't think he made it, everybody. Hey, starting to make a little more progress here. So basically, like I said, until we get a dumpster on site, a lot of it's organizing and just throwing away the stuff that's, you can see it's obvious garbage. Once we get this is a kind of a yard sale pile, we'll get that to, we have a workshop to go through it and wash and clean everything that could possibly be saved, and so we'll have a big yard sale this summer and sell that. So this pile is sewing machine table components. You know, we could scrap it, but scrap is going for so low right now. It'd probably be better to sell this to people who might want to, you know, repurpose it as just an industrial table. Good table legs, you know, they've got some style to them, some industrial style to them. And I'll wait for the dumpster, and some of the canning jars, I guess, you know, I'll save or donate. Some of them, the ones that are full, I am not messing with that. That can go straight to dumpster. So going through everything, a lot of this stuff is on the ground, and so it's even the vintage clothing and stuff like that is in the books. They're not salvageable. Still find some decent stuff. Hammer. In the box it goes to go through again later. But I was just looking at it, and I mean, this is. I mean, they didn't throw anything away. I mean, this is canceled checks. 19. No, they didn't write the date. Put 73. So, it's worth it to go through these boxes of papers, though, because, I mean, I don't know what Supreme Council 33 AARS is, but, you know, I mean, you go through here, and sometimes you could find good little local stuff. I mean, there's some people out there that just collect, you know, postcards, business cards for local places. I mean, look, there's old fishing lure. I mean, that's not worth saving. But, I mean, there's people, obviously, who collect fishing lures. So, if you go through every little bit like this, might find a few treasures. Okay, well, I think we're going to stop for today. We're completely out of trash bags, and there's a lot of trash. So we found some interesting things. Got a crazy psychedelic mushroom television tray. I'm sure there's a market for that. Got a sewing stool filled with needle thread. Got a home model machine. It'll probably be easier to sell than some of these big commercial machines. We've got, like I said, this is all garbage. It's on the ground. There's bugs crawling through it. There's obviously been a raccoon in here also. I mean, we did get some stuff out of it. There's some sealed boxes with vintage fabric in them. Got some more steel cabinets. I hit my head off of that thing at least a dozen times, but I forget it's there every time. Like I said, we have lots of... this is another couple sewing machines. I find them everywhere. So, the plan is now, and there is, you see that's the worst part of the rot in the floor, right underneath that bad spot in the ceiling. But I mean, look, there's, see cast iron pans, pressure cookers, so there's some more stuff over there that might be worth saving. Pretty much done for this episode. This will be episode 2, I guess. This is a big, big pile. This is probably bigger than the pile that was in the other room. And we will leave it as a cliffhanger to who Leanne loves. Find out on the next episode of Enoree Station Project.